Today our topic is what Plato would say about today's society. Plato, one of the greatest philosophers in history, lived over 2,000 years ago, but his ideas are still relevant today. If Plato were alive now, he would have a lot to say about how we live, how we think, and how we treat each other. He would probably look at our world with both concern and hope, and he might give us some advice based on his philosophy. Let's imagine what he would say. First, Plato would likely talk about the importance of wisdom and knowledge. In his time, he believed that the best leaders were those who were wise and who understood the truth. He thought that only people who truly understood what was good and just should be in charge. Today, he might be disappointed to see how often people make decisions based on emotions, popularity, or short-term gains, rather than deep thinking and long-term planning. He would probably tell us to value education and critical thinking more. He would say that we should question everything, not just accept what we hear on the news or social media. He would encourage us to seek the truth, even if it's hard to find or uncomfortable to face. Plato would also talk about justice. In his famous work, The Republic, he wrote about what a fair and just society should look like. He believed that justice was not just about laws, but about how people treat each other. If he saw today's world, he might notice that while we have many laws, there is still a lot of inequality and unfairness. He would probably say that we need to focus more on fairness and helping those who are less fortunate. He would remind us that a society is only as strong as its weakest members, and that we all have a responsibility to make sure everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Another thing Plato would talk about is the role of art and media in society. He believed that art had a powerful influence on people's minds and hearts. In his time, he was worried that certain kinds of art could make people irrational or emotional. If he saw today's movies, TV shows, and social media, he might be even more concerned. He would probably say that we should be careful about what we watch and share, because it can shape our thoughts and values in ways we don't even realize. He would encourage us to choose media that inspires us, teaches us, and helps us grow, rather than just entertains us or distracts us from what really matters. Plato would also have something to say about technology. In his famous Allegory of the cave, he described people who were chained in a cave, only able to see shadows on the wall. They thought the shadows were reality, but in truth, they were just illusions. Plato might say that today, many of us are like those people in the cave. We spend so much time looking at screens, phones, computers, TVs that we forget to look at the real world. He would probably tell us to put down our devices sometimes and connect with nature, with other people, and with ourselves. He would say that true understanding comes from experience, not just from watching or reading about things online. Plato would also talk about the importance of self-control and moderation. He believed that a good life was one where reason guided our actions, not our desires or emotions. If he saw how much we focus on material things, buying the latest gadgets, chasing fame, or seeking constant pleasure, might warn us that these things don't lead to true happiness. He would say that we should focus more on developing our minds and our character, rather than chasing after things that don't last. He would remind us that the most valuable things in life, like wisdom, friendship, and inner peace, can be bought or sold. One of Plato's biggest concerns would probably be the state of our democracy. In his time, he saw how easily people could be swayed by clever speakers who didn't always tell the truth. He was skeptical about democracy because he thought it could lead to chaos if people didn't have enough knowledge or wisdom to make good decisions. If he saw today's political debates, social media arguments, and the spread of misinformation, he might feel the same way. He would probably tell us to be more thoughtful about the information we consume and share. He would say that we should listen to experts, think critically, and make decisions based on facts, not just emotions or opinions. Plato would also talk about the importance of community. He believed that people are social creatures and that we need each other to live well. If he saw how isolated many people feel today, even though we are more connected than ever through technology, he might be saddened. He would probably tell us to spend more time with our families, friends, and neighbors. He would say that real connections, face-to-face conversations, shared experiences, and helping each other are what make life meaningful. He would remind us that no one can be truly happy alone, and that we all need to work together to build a better society. Finally, Plato would talk about the search for meaning and purpose. He believed that life was about more than just surviving or having fun. He thought that we should all strive to understand the deeper truths of existence and to live in a way that reflects those truths. If he saw how many people today feel lost or unsure about their purpose, he would probably encourage us to ask big questions. Who am I? What is my place in the world? What kind of person do I want to be? He would say that the answers to these questions can't be found in material things or superficial achievements, but in the pursuit of wisdom, virtue, and the common good. In conclusion, if Plato were here today, he would probably tell us that we have a lot of work to do, but also a lot of potential. He would remind us that the problems we face, inequality, misinformation, isolation, and the search for meaning, are not new, but they are still important. He would encourage us to think deeply, act justly, and live wisely. He would say that while the world has changed a lot since his time, the basic questions of how to live a good life and how to build a good society are still the same. His advice to us would be to focus on what really matters, to seek the truth, and to take care of each other. And he would probably end by saying that even though the journey is hard, it's worth it, because the reward is a life of wisdom, virtue, and true happiness.